Good morning, Byfield Parish. My name is Mark Lingerman, and I'm here today to speak with you about the incredible work that God is doing in Cuba and to thank you for your partnership in the work there. I know that the first question is going to be, do they still have the really cool cars? So let's get that one right out of the way. I took these pictures at the entrance to the National Hotel in Havana. These cars are all taxis, but it's a good representation of the many older cars that you will see if you come with Global Baseball on a mission trip to Cuba. The name Global Baseball does not clearly communicate what we do. We use sports, humanitarian aid, medical clinics, and other kinds of programs to open the doors for evangelism. Our roots are on the sports side, hence the name Global Baseball. Our primary goal, however, is to use the sports programs, use the humanitarian aid distributions, use medical clinics, and use the children's programs that we produce to share the gospel. Everything that we do and all of our programs are intended to earn an opportunity to share the gospel with people. Cuba is an incredible place to be involved in missions work because, quite honestly, the Lord is heavily involved in the work there. For whatever reason, maybe it's the hope of the gospel that shines so brightly when it's contrasted against the hopelessness of communism. People are making commitments to Christ in droves all over the island. You can be a part of that. Imagine being asked to share the gospel and seeing the people who have just asked you to share the gospel pray to receive Jesus. It is truly a very special time in the history of the nation and the history of the people. Global Baseball works with a house church in Alamar, just 40 minutes outside of Havana. When we began working there, almost 20 years ago, there were only 4 house churches. Now, that one church, which was comprised of just 4 house churches, has grown to 125 house churches. When you come on a mission trip with Global Baseball, or when you pray for me, or when you support me financially, you are part of building up the church neighbor to neighbor. For example, if you lead your next door neighbor to Christ, you would start bringing them to church with you. In the house churches in Cuba that we have helped plant and water, neighbors lead each other to Christ and have church right in the same apartment building. People are instantly connected into discipling relationships. If you come to Cuba, you will have a chance to be a part of programs and evangelism that have immediate impact and lasting impact. You might serve on a light construction project or a medical team. After the hurricane of last year, our partner church has been very active in meeting the renovation and physical needs of their neighbors. This has led to the planting of 20 new churches this year alone. Please come to the Loaf and Ladle at 12:30, where I will be able to share more of the really exciting work in more detail. Trust me, you will be really encouraged at the impact that your support is having in Cuba. You may not know this, but I grew up at Byfield Parish, and so this is homecoming for me, and I love being able to share with my family. If you can't be at the Loaf and Ladle, please connect with me after service or on facebook.com/mlingerman. I will close with 2 things. The Cuban believers are very encouraged when you come to be with them and invest in their ministry. Imagine living in a place where the average income is $40 a month. Imagine how encouraged you would be when your fellow believers come and work alongside you, share your labor, pray with you, love you, and care about your life and your work. The pastor over all of those house churches tells us over and over again that the best thing that we can do for his church is to keep bringing American believers because his church gets so energized by it. And the last thing I want to share with you is, go Sox! Come see me after church. Thank you.